Let me tell you something. Greatness doesn't come from comfort. It's born from chaos, from risk. It's from the willingness to stand alone when the world calls you crazy. Elon Musk didn't just build companies, he built belief systems. He looked at a world bound by old money, slow systems, and fear of failure, and he said, "No, there's a better way." When people doubted him, he doubled down. When others played safe, he went all in. He didn't wait for permission. He created his own rules. Saw the cracks in the financial world, the lack of trust, the broken systems, the fear of innovation, and he said, "We can do better." He built digital roads where others built walls. He made finance not about banks, but about belief, not about control, but about freedom. And that's what makes his vision powerful, not the money, not the fame, not the headlines, but the courage to build something reliable in a world that thrives on uncertainty. So, if you want to create your own reliable system in business, in life, in dreams, you've got to think like that. See beyond what's safe, act beyond what's known, and believe beyond what's possible. Because reliability doesn't start with money. It starts with mindset. And the day you decide to back yourself, the day your own system becomes unbreakable. Greatness is born from risk, not comfort. It's forged in the fire of uncertainty, not in the warmth of routine. Comfort is a cage dressed as safety. It whispers that staying still is peace, but in truth, it's quiet surrender. Risk is the language of growth. It's the leap when you can't see the ground, the step forward when your hands still shake. Every dream ever realized began as a risk someone dared to take. Yes. You see, comfort keeps you where you are, but risk takes you where you're meant to be. Upram, because every time you move through fear, you expand your limits. Every time you trust yourself in uncertainty, you evolve. Greatness doesn't wait for ideal conditions. It's built in the storm, molded by mistakes, sharpened by rejection. Those who chase comfort chase mediocrity. Those who embrace risk create legacy. Every visionary, every pioneer, every name that echoes through time, they stepped into the unknown and refused to step back. They weren't born different. They just refused to stay the same. Risk is the bridge between who you are and who you could become. And on that bridge, comfort has no place. Because comfort will keep you safe, but risk will make you legendary. Innovation begins when you stop asking for permission. When you stop waiting for approval, for validation, for someone to tell you it's okay to begin. The world doesn't reward hesitation, it rewards creation. Every great idea that changed the world began as a whisper in someone's mind that others couldn't understand. Innovation is rebellion with purpose. It's looking at the rules and realizing they were written by people no smarter than you, saying, "I see the way things are, but I believe they can be better." The moment you stop asking, you start building. You stop seeking permission and start trusting your own vision. Permission is the invisible chain that keeps brilliance locked away. It's the voice that says, "Wait until it's perfect," when the truth is, it never will be. Those who innovate don't wait for a green light. They make one. They move while others hesitate. They build while others doubt. They believe while others ask. And in that movement, in that faith, in that relentless drive, the world begins to shift. Because innovation isn't about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to ask a different question. To see what others ignore, to act before the world catches up. When you stop asking for permission, you stop living in someone else's timeline, and that's the moment your ideas stop being dreams and start becoming reality. Building belief is more powerful than building business, because belief is the foundation every great empire stands on. You can build a company, you can build a product, can even build a fortune, but without belief it all crumbles when the storm hits. Belief is the heartbeat behind every vision. It's what makes you wake up when the world tells you to give up. It's the fire that burns long after motivation fades. Business is built on numbers, but belief is built on purpose. Numbers can rise and fall, but purpose never breaks. When you build belief, you don't just build profits, you build people. You inspire others to see what you see, to feel what you feel, to chase what you know is possible. That's how revolutions start. Not with money, but with conviction. Belief turns followers into fighters and doubters into dreamers. It transforms a simple idea into a movement. When you build business alone, you create success. But when you build belief, you create significance. You create something that outlives balance sheets and headlines. Because belief is the currency that never loses value. It fuels trust, it drives innovation, and it carries people through failure. And before you build the brand, build the belief. Before you chase the market, strengthen the mission. Because a business may touch wallets, but belief touches souls. Reliable systems come from relentless vision. Not from luck, not from shortcuts, but from the unshakable clarity of purpose that refuses to bend. A reliable system isn't built overnight. It's forged through discipline, consistency, and belief that never fades even when progress seems invisible. Relentless vision means seeing beyond the chaos. It's holding the picture of the future so clearly that even when the world doubts you, you keep building. Test, you fail, you rebuild again and again until it works. Because reliability doesn't come from perfection, it comes from persistence. A relentless vision doesn't ask, is it easy? It asks, is it worth it? And every time the answer is yes, you push forward. You create systems that stand when others fall because they're built with purpose, not pressure. Each small improvement, each long night, each failure turned lesson. That's how reliability is born. The world trusts systems that come from endurance. It trusts builders who never stop refining. That's the secret. Reliability is not a feature, it's a reflection of your obsession. The obsession to make it better. The drive to see your vision through, no matter the cost. When your vision is relentless, your systems become unbreakable. They carry your integrity, your discipline, your fire. And that's what makes them reliable. Not the design, not the process, but the unstoppable heart that built them. Failure is only feedback, not the end. It's not the wall that stops you. It's the mirror that shows you where to grow. Every time you fall short, life isn't closing a door. It's redirecting you to the right one. Failure is not a verdict. It's a lesson. It's proof that you had the courage to try, the heart to move, and the faith to believe in something bigger than fear. You see, those who fear failure never build anything that lasts. But those who face it, learn from it, and rise because of it. They become unstoppable. Every setback is information. Every mistake is a map. Failure doesn't define you. It refines you, sharpens your vision, humbles your pride, and strengthens your spirit. When you stop seeing failure as the enemy, you start seeing it as the greatest teacher you'll ever have. Because behind every success story, there's a trail of broken attempts that built the strength to win. The ones who rise to greatness don't escape failure, they master it. They understand that every no brings them closer to a yes. Every wrong turn points them toward the right direction. Failure doesn't mean you're done. It means you're in the process of becoming. So don't run from it. Brace it. Because failure is not the end of the road. It's the sign that you still moving forward. Vision. Maps are safe. They're predictable. But leaders are builders of possibility. They take risks, they test limits, and they break patterns so others can walk freely where once there was nothing. A map can guide you through what's been done, but a leader guides others through what's never been imagined. Every great movement began with someone who refused to follow the old directions. They turned left when everyone else turned right. They built bridges where people only saw rivers. That's what leadership is, turning obstacles into openings. It's choosing to be the first footprint in fresh ground. Because anyone can follow a map, but only leaders have the vision to create the road that others will one day follow. The strongest currency is trust and courage, because money can buy comfort, but only trust can build connection. And courage is what keeps that connection alive when the world begins to shake. Trust is the invisible thread that holds people together, in business, in leadership, in life. It's not built by promises, it's built by consistency. By doing what you said you would do, even when it's hard. By showing up when no one's watching. Courage is the fuel that drives that trust forward. It's the voice that says, keep going when everything inside you wants to stop. The world moves on transactions, but legacies move on trust. Because when people trust you, they'll follow you through uncertainty. When they see your courage, they'll believe in your vision. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose status and rebuild it. But once you lose trust, it takes a lifetime to earn it again. Trust gives you credibility. Courage gives you strength. Together, they create something no economy can measure. They build relationships that outlast deals. They inspire movements that outlive generations. Strongest currency isn't printed or traded, it's lived and proven. It's in your word, your actions, your resilience. Trust opens doors, and courage keeps you walking through them. Because when you lead with both, you never go broke in spirit. And that's the kind of wealth that never fades. True disruption challenges fear, not just markets. Because changing the market is easy compared to changing the mindset. Anyone can invent a new product, but it takes real courage to confront the fear that keeps people tied to the old way of thinking. Disruption begins in the heart before it ever reaches the world. It starts with someone brave enough to ask, why not? When everyone else says that's impossible, it's not about destroying what exists, it's about daring to reimagine what could be. The true disruptor isn't driven by competition, but by conviction. They don't move because the market demands it. They move because their spirit refuses to settle. They know that fear is the first wall every innovator must break. Because fear disguises itself as logic, as safety, as patience, but it's really hesitation in disguise. When you face that fear, you unlock creativity, clarity, and confidence that no system can contain. True disruption isn't loud, it's steady. It's the quiet rebellion of someone who chooses progress over approval. Markets shift when minds shift. And minds shift when someone proves that fear doesn't decide the future, vision does. Every breakthrough, every revolution, every transformation began with someone who refused to be ruled by fear. Because the real disruption isn't in the product, the business, or the technology. In the human spirit that dares to move forward anyway. Reliability starts from within a mindset of consistency. It's not something you switch on when people are watching. It's who you are when no one's around. Reliability isn't built by big moments. It's built by small choices repeated every single day. It's in showing up when you don't feel like it. It's in keeping promises, even when no one will notice if you don't. Consistency is the quiet power that earns trust over time. It's what separates talkers from doers, dreamers from builders. Anyone can shine once, but reliability means shining again and again, even through the dark. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. It's about being the kind of person people can depend on, not because you say so, but because you prove it. A consistent mind doesn't chase motivation, it builds discipline. It doesn't wait for the right moment, it creates it through steady effort. When you train your thoughts to stay focused, your actions follow. And when your actions stay consistent, results become inevitable. Reliability isn't a skill, it's a reflection of your inner standards. It's a mindset that says, no matter how I feel, I'll still do what I said I'd do. That's how trust is built. That's how success is sustained. Because in a world full of noise and flashes, it's consistency, quiet, humble, unwavering, that truly stands the test of time. When you believe in your mission, the world adjusts to your frequency. Because belief has a vibration, and when it's strong enough, it reshapes everything around you. When you stand firm in your purpose, you don't chase opportunities, they start finding you. The world begins to bend in ways that align with your energy, your focus, your truth. It's not magic, it's alignment. The universe responds to conviction. When your belief is clear, your actions become powerful, your decisions become precise, and your voice carries weight. People can feel it when you move with purpose. They recognize something in you that can be faked, a sense of direction that no obstacle can distract. Belief isn't noise, it's signal. It cuts through doubt, through confusion, through resistance. And once you tune into your mission, you stop fighting for attention. You start commanding it. The world doesn't adjust for the uncertain. It adjusts for the unshakable. The ones who move forward no matter the resistance. The ones whose faith in their mission is louder than their fear. You don't have to convince people when you believe deeply. Your consistency does it for you. You don't have to prove your worth. Your vision shows it through time. Because when your mission becomes your identity and your belief becomes your rhythm, everything around you begins to move in harmony with your purpose. So when you stand before the world, uncertain, untested, and maybe even unseen, remember this. You don't need permission to begin. You don't need validation to believe. All you need is vision strong enough to survive the doubt and faith powerful enough to outlast the noise. Because the truth is, the world doesn't change for those who wait. It changes for those who dare. Those who trust their mission, those who stay consistent when it's hard, those who lead when no one else will. Every system, every breakthrough, every legacy ever built began with one person who decided to believe when others didn't. And maybe that person is you. So hold the vision, take the risk, build the belief, and never stop moving forward. Because when your purpose becomes unstoppable, the world has no choice. It adjusts to your frequency.